Hello there, Internet. Mogwai here, and I got another of Runeterra video for you guys today. 12-year-old React Andy edition, as today we're going to be reacting to the newly revealed champion from, I assume, Targon in Pantheon. I actually know a little bit about Pantheon because back, I think last year while I was streaming Legends of Runeterra, people started mentioning this champion to me as some people were expecting it perhaps to be revealed with Call of the Mountain, which was a Targonian expansion, right? I know that, I know a few things. I know that Pantheon is sort of like a godly being tied to worms in some way, and like the physical body is Atreus was his name? It's been a while, my memory's a bit iffy. But he's essentially a human being with like the spirit of the war god or within him or something, and he fights opposing divine beings. I think, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, you know, update me on the lore. I'm always very interested. There's so many characters in the League of Legends universe that, you know, I find their backgrounds really interesting. Some of them I really like, some of them not so much, but Pantheon he's pretty alright in my book. You know, he's kind of like the Leonidas of Legends of Runeterra now that he's coming in, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I mean, I do assume that it has something to do. I'm recording, right? Imagine just this like rant and me not recording. It's been a while, so I have to be more aware of that now. But yeah, what the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, essentially, like, I know that I assume that it will have something to do with Faded, you know, the keyword that we spoke about in yesterday's video. In case you haven't seen that, check that out. I won't be going over the cards again because I already ran them over yesterday. So yeah, without further ado, let's see what Pantheon is all about. Let's check that we're recording for the 37th time. Let's react this bitch. See some moon weapons? What?
By my spear.
My spear. Alright, give me a moment, because we gotta be professional about it. There we go. Now distributions. All right, let's go. And are we used to seeing him without a mask, by the way? Because I don't think I've ever seen him without one. But I mean, I don't think they would do that in Legends of Runeterra alone. All right, let's go.
Spear, the gods will no war. Today we say
Big swimming here there. hey! Jesus, I'm slow. Pantheon 4 mana, 4/2. Wow, that's a weak stat line. With barrier though. Whoa, you've targeted allies in 5 different rounds in order to level him up. Overwhelm, barrier, and faded. So it does have faded. He already comes with overwhelm. Quite understated, and an interesting level up requirement that no matter what you do, you will not be able to play Pantheon leveled up on a curve, which is very important to note. But if you are able to target allies every single round, which that has to be a little bit difficult to do, right? Like you have to play one, sort of like combat trick. I mean, it can be done, especially with Targonian cards like that cycle, like Guiding Touch and Pale Cascade, amongst others, which we see in the hand right there. But interesting. Like the fact, it may seem like very understated, but the fact that it comes in with a barrier is really massive because it's really hard to kill because of that. And the faded also can allow it to just grow really quickly. Like the faded keyword really, like it's why the 3-drop dragon that I was talking about yesterday is so ridiculous, right, in my eyes. So let's see where this goes.
Is this the face of fear?
Is that his voice? Okay, this music's pretty fire.
Light upon darkness.
Bro, this music is really lit.
Onwards!
Lock shields.
Yeah, we saw that card yesterday. Yeah, I'm telling you, Pantheon just grows and grows and grows. Leona Dragons.
Immortality is a lie. This I know. Don't worry.
I like his accent.
I am here.
Mortality is a lie.
Die.
Do not
Call me
stand
Ricardo.
against me.
We saw that card, right?
Together.
That card exists. I kind of forgot that card existed. Okay, we're good with the base now. With the moon weapons. And now we're gonna level up.
To protect all.
Well, not now. It's gonna take a while. Bro, I'm telling you, this level of requirement is not easy.
Are you ready to destroy a demon? oracle.
I'm ready to light the way, Atreus.
Alright, let's see it.
I will make the gods remember this day.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Okay, what is he like? Spartan Superman? That was kind of, that animation was kind of ridiculous, but I like it. When I'm summoned or level up, grant me a random keyword for each round you've targeted allies this game. Wait, what? What? Let me make sure I read this. When I'm summoned or I level up, grant me a random keyword for each round you've targeted allies this game. So at the very least, 5 different keywords. So when he levels up, he gets 5 different keywords? What the fuck? That is crazy. That's like ours. That's just insane.
Atreus, let us pull
What
our
is that?
enemies apart.
I do not fight for you, creature.
Is that the thing that the one drop is writing?
Nowhere left to go but
Like the bearded guy? Like, is that, he's like
my
on top of
shield.
that thing's shoulders, right?
Each life a rare jewel worth fighting for, worth dying for. We will shake the heavens with our victory.
We will shake the heavens! Alright, let's take a look. So, we've seen Eula, we've seen Saga Seeker, and we've seen Blinded Mystic, which, you know, and We Stand Together. All of these naturally work really well with Pantheon because of the faded keyword, but we haven't seen quite a few others here. So first of all, let's go over against the odds. It says, if your opponent has more units than you, grant an ally +1/+1 for each extra unit they have. It's 3 mana and it's focus. I mean, that's interesting. Like, I guess against Bandle City Swarm, for example, like this can go a long way. So imagine like the most, you know, egregious example, right? Like you have your opponent with 6 units on the board and you have 1. You play this for 3 mana, so you grant an ally +5/+5 at focus speed. And if they have like Overwhelm, then it can just be a little bit insane. So combining maybe this with like Demacia with cards like Judgment, I'm trying to see like the extreme of this card, right? For 3 mana at focus speed, the fact that it's focus really hurts it though to a certain extent, because I mean to a big extent really, because you can't really use it as a proper combat trick, right, in response to keep something alive. So I'm not so sure about against the odds. Maybe as a 1-off or a 2-of in certain decks. I don't think you ever play this as a 3-of. Like, it just feels like a very fringe niche card that maybe I'm underestimating, but that's how I initially feel about it. We got the Shield Vault right here on the right, 2 mana slow speed spell that says grant an ally +1/+1 and stun an enemy. Target Yasuo! Okay. So you grant an ally +1/+1, you stun an enemy. Like, that's, honestly, that's really neat. It's like a guile. It's like a guile that synergizes with your faded units. So I feel like this card is, obviously it's balanced, being slow speed. You can't stun something quickly and buff at the same time. But it's a pretty strong card, especially for your your aggressive turns, your attack turns, right? Like, you can eliminate a blocker, but it can also be used in response to counter something like Poppy, for example. For 2 mana, they play Poppy, and you can play Shield Vault, buff something, and Halter. So a natural sort of response to her as well, and very important to know because she is the meta-defining champion right now, and it seems like we're not getting a balanced patch until January, which I'm very personally bummed out about. But getting cards like and resources like this that allow us to interact with her a little bit better is neat, and I like this card, even though I'm always very on the fence with like slow speed spells because they're very limited. This one feels rather promising for the archetype. We got Freed Colossus, that is a 5 mana 4/5 that says when I'm summoned or attack, create a gem in hand. Interesting. Honestly, it feels like a bit slow for what it's doing as a 5-drop, but I think, you know, it reminds me of like, in a way, it's the Targonian version of Lecturing Yordle, you know, but it costs 5 mana, and I like Lecturing Yordle being ridiculous as a 4 mana 3/5 doing what it does. So yeah, it kind of feels a bit bad in comparison, but giving you gems, you know, with the faded, like, it could be really neat value, though I'm not sure if it's a little bit too slow and you'd rather be doing other things. Like, I could see people playing this card, but I'm not completely sold on it yet. And then Cam for the Doubt. I was talking about the Saga Seeker right here. You guys see the bearded man on the right. He's riding this thing. I'm pretty certain it's the same thing. And it's like some sort of like Colossal Demon or something. And it's a 6 mana 5/4 that says, when I'm summoned, if you've targeted allies 6 times this game, pretty easy requirement to meet in the right deck, actually. Grant me Spell Shield, Overwhelm, and Challenger. So kind of like a slower, more, you know, I mean, it's, so compare this to like the, just think about how broken the Rune Runner was, right? Like for 5 mana with Rune Runner, you had 1 more stat, and without any sort of requirement whatsoever. And this gains Challenger for 1 more mana and loses 1 power, right? I mean, Rune Runner is 6/3 now, but it's hard to say. I mean, in the right deck, this thing could be a nasty finisher because combining Overwhelm and Challenger, that's one of the strongest keyword combinations in the game, period, because you're able to direct your attack towards the weakest blocker potentially and use that as a finisher. Like, it allows you to essentially find the 1 health unit and dive this almost directly into the Nexus, right? With a Spell Shield on top of that, it's going to be difficult to take down, especially with a relatively decent stat line. A bit understated for some people, or they may think that, right? But we're in an archetype and a region that has a very easy time boosting. It doesn't have Faded, but you can still, you know, apply gems onto it, anything to boost the attack, add burst or focus speed, and you can use it as a late game win condition. So I do like it. I like Camphor of Doubt much more than I like Freed Colossus, though I feel like I could be completely wrong about Freed Colossus, honestly. It's hard to evaluate. I'm also maybe a little bit rusty, and I'm not completely sure, but I'm not too crazy about against the odds in Freed Colossus. I think Camphor is promising for sure, and Pantheon is just like, the level is just kind of funny, because it's just like, yeah, just have a soup of keywords. Like, as soon as I level up, just 5 keywords at the very least. And just think about it, right? Like with a unit that is just like, stats are not going to be the problem, because if you have Faded, every turn you buff this, it's going to be granting itself +1/+1, right? So it's going to grow. Pantheon will grow, and it can gain Elusive, Spell Shield. Impact is probably like a bad one. Imagine something like Augment, Fearsome, you know, less useful, but there's just a lot of crazy keywords: Challenger, Quick Attack, etc., etc. It's kind of wild. We already know how powerful Arsenal is as a late game win condition, and this is not really that far away from it, and it seems like it can come in much earlier or online as a leveled up unit, and it's really interesting overall. I like it. I like the design of Pantheon, and I like what they're doing with Targon. Definitely like it more than what I've seen from Targon in the past, though we'll have to see how it all plays out ultimately, and if cards like Eula will eventually go on to something else. But Pantheon seems pretty damn decent. Like the Faded, I think it's very easy to overlook just how impactful the Faded keyword is over the course of a game. You know, being able to grow your stats +1/+1 every single round, on top of whatever benefit you're grant, because a lot of these effects, like for example, the Shield Vault grants +1/+1. It's like a permanent effect as well. So, and Stand Together with all these Faded units is looking stronger and stronger as a card. So yeah, really, really neat stuff. I like Pantheon. I like Roman Superman. And that's where I'm going to stop talking. Thank you guys for watching. Have a soul day. Let me know what you think about Pantheon and about the soundtrack. I like the soundtrack with today's video. It's pretty hype. You know, I knew they would do something like that with a chip like this. You know, some sort of like chorus with like, oh yeah. And I'm just talking nonsense at this point. So yeah, love ya. Have a soul day. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for regular uploads. I'll see you guys around.